Volunteers of Legal Service partners with the private bar and community-based organizations to help close the access to justice gap for New Yorkers who are in need of civil legal services. Our goal as attorneys is to help people who can't otherwise afford counsel to access the benefits, the rights that they have, and having access to a high-quality, free attorney can really make a difference.
Our unique role is the connections we have to community groups that have their ears to the ground. They know what's happening in the communities, where the problems are getting worse. And that helps us tailor the programs that we develop to serve the needs and keep them up to date. And we then turn that into programs that law firms can participate in, leveraging as much as possible the enthusiasm of pro bono lawyers.
Our senior law project helps low-income seniors plan for the future. We do that by preparing and executing for them a set of documents that allows them to put the right plan in place for themselves as they age.
La Extensión Comunitaria para Adultos Mayores is a program that focuses on the Latinx population. It's to make these documents accessible and to avoid any language barriers.
I am originally from Puerto Rico. I came to school with a scholarship in Boston, and when I was done there, I got married and we moved to New York. I have a child who is an individual with Down syndrome. At this point, he's 49. I'm 75. He lives in a supervised apartment. I'm looking forward to see you next week.
Yes.
Our pro bono client, Maria, came into the clinic looking for help planning some life planning documents. In particular, she was looking for help drafting a power of attorney and also a last will.
Maria actually participated in one of our clinics, and with the help of our pro bono partners, we give them a fabulous afternoon where they have 2 to 3 attorneys, and we draft all the documents same day, and then the client goes home with their documents and their copies.
It was very rewarding to have Maria be so relieved in just a few hours of helping her. It reminded me of why I became an attorney in the first place.
You feel relief. There was a weight off my shoulder, so I would be grateful.
VOLS' legal team is great to work with. Everyone at VOLS really is completely committed and passionate. The lawyers make it so easy to do pro bono work. They provide guidance.
The Incarcerated Mothers Law Project started in the 90s by attorneys and advocates who understood and recognized that incarcerated mothers in the state of New York had no access to family law assistance. At the beginning of the pandemic, nobody had any access to any of the incarcerated mothers in these facilities.
The needs of the women didn't change. They're still in prison, they're still wanting to see their children, they're still needing to know their rights, they're still needing to get access to their court documents. Luckily now we're allowed back in the prison.
There is an underserving of mothers in the prison system. Oftentimes custody arrangements are filed without their knowledge or whilst they're in custody. They're denied visitation rights of their children or they're not allowed to contact their children.
I have an 11-year-old daughter. Her name is Isabella. She is truly my best friend, and I absolutely love her. I was incarcerated at Takana Correctional Facility. I am a woman in long-term recovery, and I was incarcerated due to crimes that I had committed because of that.
People have an idea in their head of who's in prison, and it takes going in there, walking yourself through that prison to change that perception. No matter what somebody did, they have rights, and they deserve to know what those rights are and to get assistance.
As an outcome for my clients, I'm hoping that they are able to have a voice in what is a very convoluted system for mothers and women. I want my clients to feel heard. I want them to be able to access the rights that are supposed to be there for them.
My daughter went to kindergarten one day and she did not see me again for 2 years. Not being able to see your child and let them see that you were okay and letting them know that this is just a bad time and it will pass, it's absolutely horrific.
I represented her with an associate at the firm in a visitation case. All we were asking for was for her parents to bring her daughter to see her twice.
The way the custody papers and everything were written up, I was legally allowed to see her at all times. I was supposed to be having phone calls 3 times a week. I was lucky if I got one like twice a month. My lawyer, who I love dearly, accompanied me to court. I was downstairs in the holding facility. Dara came downstairs and she was like, "You won." The judge called us into chambers and you won. And you know, he's pretty disgusted that you haven't seen your child.
After After Jen got released, she took some time to get stability. Once she had reached the point where she felt, okay, I now have a job, I have a home, I've maintained my sobriety for years, we decided to file for custody. Days before trial was set to start, they let us know that they were settling and Jen got sole custody of her daughter.
I could not believe it the day I went to go pick her up. And it is through a ton of hard work and advocacy and just people believing in us and us trusting the process. Access to free legal services 100% means hope. It means potential possibility to be a mom again. And here we are, 2 years later, she's home.
VOLS has been a thought leader in the pro bono space since its founding almost 40 years ago. My goal as I look ahead to our future is that we not only continue to sustain those incredibly valuable partnerships with the private bar and community organizations, but that we continue to grow them so that we are able to reach even more New Yorkers across all 5 boroughs who would really benefit from access to a free attorney to address their civil legal services needs. We would not be able to do what we do without our incredible team here at VOLS, our amazing pro bono partners, our dedicated community partners, and all of our supporters. So thank you to everyone in the VOLS community for helping us to close the access to justice gap for New Yorkers.